Right, it's asking me for the time again, which is making me terrified at the idea that I hasn't actually saved my progress. If it hasn't saved my progress, we aren't doing this anymore. What time is it? 8:12. Please don't ask me if I've already played before. Before I get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. Oh man, straight out the gate, I love it. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. Just leave the clock set to 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favourite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want, even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to your video game now. What? What is my favourite time? Probably like 5 o'clock? Right, so I've got a horrific feeling it's not going to put me back to where I was. I think I've just started over. We'll see though. I haven't checked the game audio. I'll keep an eye on it though. Can't see it being too loud.
This is the story of a man named
Right, if you've seen part 1, you've already seen this, it's fine. Oh, we're back here. Okay. So when the stream ended, when I ended playing this last time, we're actually in the middle of
all of his co-workers were
discovering
gone.
the new
What could it
content,
mean?
so...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't know why it's clipping the way that it feels like it is. New content. Like, I have done normal Stanley Parable before, unfortunately, not on stream. But there's no point in me grinding the old content to see what it is. I might as well go straight into the new content, right? That makes sense to me.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
The other issue is I think we've already done some of this. I'm going to get a sweet because I don't need to talk on this one as much. I'm going to have a rhubarb and custard. Lush.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I like the cut now that it keeps doing.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
New content part 2 is in. Bottom section of the chart, kill red section of the chart. More the Stanley Parable 2, better Stanley Parable. Win-win. What? Color red, leverage holistic value. Okay.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
That slight stutter's getting more work. I might restart soon. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Arkham Asylum 2, City. Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. 2 to 2 2 to 2. Meeting at 2 p.m. Arkham Asylum. Oh, I love that. I love Arkham Asylum, man. I'm on stream when? Nah, I've already played all of them to death. I have to do like Batman Returns for the Mega Drive, which I'd be shit at, but you know. Oh, the new content bus? Yeah, so this is where I got up to last time.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
So ideally, we'll go somewhere where I hadn't before. No screenshots, please. Oh. Is there even a way? Baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Don't know how to take a screenshot. Like in game. Unless you will actually let me do this. Ah! It's not really a screenshot though. A print screen. Right. We did those, so that's fine. We'll move it somewhere else. Go back and say name. Have I not already done this? I think I've already done this one. I'll have a look though. Maybe I'll appreciate it more now that I'm actually awake.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
That ringing just in my ear, or is that it?
Jim.
Sorry, I should
I'm
have
not called
clarified.
Jim.
Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am
If
Jim.
so, then please step forward and press the button.
You heard Jim has been. Oh, I am Jim. Yep, Jim. I'm Jim. Look, watch.
Jim.
Yes, you see, what a thrill! That was you. The
That was
button
me.
described you.
I am
Do
Jim.
it again. Do it
I have a
again.
big penis.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If
So-
this were
so
the
good.
only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
No, I am Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No,
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all
Jim.
sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
I am Jim.
Jim.
Wow, rude. I want to be Jim. Am I now no longer Jim? Then who am I? Oh, look at that beautiful emote. Hello to you too. That open. I thought, see the way it sinks down, I was hoping like you can get into here and press the button again, but I guess not. Sad times.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Oh, I'd see what merch they've got. That's content. I want to take.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one.
Okay.
I think that in the new version, the
Right.
office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons.
Balloons,
But
okay.
I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday, definitely. Do I get to choose? Get well someday, definitely. Step niece, hang on. Step niece is pretty funny. But no, get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece it is.
I sensed that was going to happen regardless. I changed my mind then? No. Okay. Oh, so if you actually... Oh, God.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Are you sure? We can just bin all the balloons and start over. What's down here? Out and out? Oh, something. But I want the easy achievement. Pull the lever, receive a new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Well, that's horrific. As someone who used to be a trophy hunter, that's saddening. Not trophy hunter, achievement hunter. I was an Xbox twat.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Another jump circle. Oh, this one's hilarious.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
I don't want to jump. Give me more jumps. No jumps remaining. Player tears. Oh, didn't notice that before. What else haven't we seen yet? Collectibles. Yeah, that's fair. Out of order. I'm assuming they are actually findable somehow, but I don't know. Exits that way. Let's do the invisible hall again. This is literally I literally fell asleep as I was doing this one last time.
I don't know that.
So if you watch this again, hopefully I will be more responsive to it this time. Hall like infinity. Falling, distance, deeper. Space like infinity, time like infinity. Opening rim. Oh, I love a good rim in me.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Why have you put the lid on now? There we go.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Off I don't.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
But if it's infinite, why does it
on
matter?
the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
No, it's fine.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
What do you
Is
mean?
it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
Deal.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
What if I don't? Fine.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Good. Cool. Good to know.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you.
This
The
part's
problem
still
is that
funny.
you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person.
I do
would have
love
said, "Yep, that's an
holes."
infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I
It
couldn't
did.
help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Nice.
Had enough? I'm positive. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Okay.
Well, there it is.
Oh.
The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Aggressive divot. Yay!
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Yeah, sure.
Is the, teleport button not working?
Apparently not.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No,
You
what?
couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's
How do
a
you know?
win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh. It's right on the outside of it. Where? Did it get bigger? No. Oh, hello. now going down infinitely? This is the bit I didn't appreciate last time because I was so tired. Perception. Will owning the music control of perception? Got it, puppies on. The fuck? Oh, upside down.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no
Stanley?
longer
Stanley?
using
Stanley!
Hello?
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there,
Oh.
drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it.
Oh, good, thank you.
Don't want to miss a single moment.
Correct.
So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle pip. See, I find if I have dreams like that, though, my brain tries to, like, make sense of them too much.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
So what happens now if I go back to the infinite hole? This is essentially where we're up to when we left off now. Want to see if it'll let me. Oh no, it's locked. Damn it. Okay. Oh, I thought he was just mute. No, he has moved. Is he rotating? He's rotating. That's okay. Settings world chat. What the fuck? What about the reassurance bucket? We haven't seen that yet.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Right.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Get in.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
3:44. Maybe I could put that into time. That's my favorite time. We're just carrying a bucket. Why are we carrying a bucket? Was this one World Champions? What about That's New Door?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes.
Yes.
It will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh. Okay. Well, okay. I'll just have a bucket now. I don't know what to do. I've just got a bucket. Do we try and be Jim again? We can't be Jim anymore. Makes me sad. I've just got a bucket. Thanks, Sarah. Can I put it on someone's head?
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
There's no way I came in here. Yeah, most things are now shut off to me. And I just have a bucket. Oh, the exit. Anyone I haven't checked. Jump cyclist, my free achievement button that says your name. Merch. Settings while champion was shut. Reassurance bucket. Office decorations. Epilogue. Collectibles. Infinite hole. Exit. So no, we're done. Well, done.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I think so. That's pretty intense of a image.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say,
Somewhere.
let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
No.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly... I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What? Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Got a bucket.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Had always been like that.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Oh shit, sorry.
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I feel like because we've got the second stuff implemented, I think we do follow it for now.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as
What?
clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Okay, you can have it.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
I don't know what else he has been in, but yeah. I want to put the bucket down.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Right.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the... But now, the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be
No
honest,
way.
I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Better, can't do anything. Maybe just need to carry on, maybe. Yeah, fuck it, I'll carry on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What's downstairs? Oh no, we'll go. I'm gonna follow it for now, just in case. Oh, wait, what? Because the boss knows what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I'll try. Yes, I saw the thumbnail, but obviously I didn't want to watch it in case it spoiled any of this.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I wonder if this is literally the same, except bucket related.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
That's all.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, we're gonna follow it for now. In case if the bucket changed anything. It doesn't seem to be at the minute, but
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
What?
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket.
What the fuck?
It would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Find out what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Fucking
could it
hell.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket, we're not taking the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, we're not bothered about we're not taking the bucket this time, are we not? Trust the completionist instinct. The many questions there was no memo. Oh god. Clues provided by employee 416. We can do red room. What? Employee 41 building a bridge. Can we sell them? Obviously. Mark us all together. Potentially. What do they want? Our data, stock options, money. Should we make them Don't know what it says. Why do they kind of look like? Why do they kind of look like 427? Why floaty magic magnets? Our quarterly success, dreams, training exercise by management. Okay. Mission status. Inside the sequel exhibit, a private but smelly place for an important person. Nearby a fireplace, somewhere both blue and red. Stairs, something to do with stairs. A large room, lots of boxes. Alright, I assume the office has a fireplace, right?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, sure, actually.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she
Don't
would soon
remember this.
turn to go call for an
Thought this
ambulance,
was in the
for just a few
original
brief moments,
book.
she
Don't remember.
considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Take the fucking bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Uh-huh. Who farted? Look, he's not talking anymore. Fuck it.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Whoa!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? What? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Not really a dark room, is it? Oh, this one.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together. This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Bucket. Here, your bucket. Press I to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
No, it's real. It's obviously real. Press J to take him back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
Why, just a liquid?
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press M for us to go back home. What's it been so far? So, IJZM. It's never been the same thing twice.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Jism. I love Jism. J. Press J to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Yep, sure.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press P to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdy,
Sexy.
more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press B to relive the same day with me over and over. Yep.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press P to go home to work to home to work to home. Yep.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me?
I want to
don't
shine the bucket.
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
What the fuck? Are we actually gonna fuck the bucket?
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it
What?
to me. Give
No,
me
no,
the bucket, Stanley.
no.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Okay. And we'll end it there for today.